Hi, welcome to PM Artist Studio, makers of mixed media video collaboration Hop. My name is Kirsten and I am using the theme Old is New to make a Flowers Fairies altered book. Michelle Mixed Media had sent me some pieces to use. She sent me this beautiful card, some beautiful stickers and a lovely stencil. And big playing cards. And I also recently received happy mail from Helen in the Makers of Mixed Media group. In this video today we're going to discover ways to use old things to make them new. We're going to use our imagination to do it, and we're going to have an adventure. Ta-da! Here we are. 3 days later, I have made an altered book using the old items that were sent to me in the Happy Mail and my old Flower Fairy journal. Plus, I've used some Happy Mail elements. So this is texture paste on the front cover, and I have done the same to the back. Oh, I was looking for that. And I've left the spine because this is a golden storybook by Collins. This is actually a vintage book and it has no value. Golden storybook, look it up and you'll find one very cheap. So what I've done is I've removed the majority of the pages. You can see right in there. And I've paper clipped everything in. It means when the person receives it, they can also make it look new by moving things about to suit them. So let's get started. So this is out of a fairies book, Fairies. So it's more mythical and a bit darker, which is how I prefer my fairies, to be honest, on a bit of scrapbook paper. Lovely journal card. Again, this is out of a how to paint flowers book, and it's on the back of some vintage Laura Ashley writing paper. And this is like a whole insert. Actually, I'll just show you. No, I won't. Not yet, I won't. This is out of a cookbook, and it just had the scarecrow in the garden, and I thought, oh, that's fabulous. Book page, one of my Pep Pattern books. Just a children's book character. Doesn't quite go with the Flower Fairies theme, but I just like the tag. I do like the darker theme, and again, just some scrapbook paper. Now this is just a piece of normal A4 writing paper, but I have stenciled patterns onto using paint, and that is what holds all these things in place. On this page here, I have sewn in. This is a book page out of a big textbook. I've sewn an envelope on it. This is very sturdy. It almost has a plasticky feel to it with the acrylic paint on top. And I just had this flipped like so. Very nice. And so again, this is just a little flip on the page. So I've created a tuck spot with this out of the Fairies with an E. We'll call them the Dark Fairies, out of the Dark Fairies book. And this is off of a masterboard I made using napkins and book pages. This is the envelope that Michelle Mixed Media had sent me, a little card in. And I thought that was nice to keep in. Again, out of the Dark Fairies book. Dark Fairies are so much more interesting. One of my jelly print masterboards on the back. Now, I have used burnt sienna paint, a few drops of acrylic ink high flow in water, sprayed it, a couple of stencils down and some mica shimmer sprays, and so I've made some journaling paper. So So the book pages I haven't stuck anything to, maybe sewn a couple of things, and then what I'm doing is I'm adding in journaling pages as well. This is more of a clippy move about type book. This one, again, just a little hold everything in place. What do they call them? It's a wee flip flop. Look, we'll just flip and flop. So again, just writing paper. I've put some of that Laura Ashley writing paper on as a collage. These were printed on tissue paper and then put, you know, glued onto the writing sheet so that they kind of blend in with the sheet. I mean, the match is not exact. However, I think on a budget it was actually very good. And just a bit of, I think I've actually laid the stencils down after I've used it on that sheet, to be honest. Again, this is actually the Dark Fairies book. It makes me think of the Wizard of Oz with all the munchkins and that, because obviously later on today, the filming and stuff, we did hear some terrible things about what they went through. This is our Dark Fairies masterboard, book page masterboard. This is the back of the envelope that Helen had sent the happy mail in. So this was the cover of the original Flower Fairy journal, and it's now a sort of junk journal insert. So we've got some flower fairies. We've got an old vintage tag. Now I used oil pastels, so this is more aesthetic rather than usable, because the oil pastels is hard to write upon. And then again, I think about, I'm not actually sure what I've used on the back here. It's probably a bit of everything. This has a big pocket. Now, what I've done in here, part of this is also like a writing set, stationery set, so it's kind of multi-purpose. This is a lot of book pages that I have basically cut into squares and made envelopes from. And what I've done is I've tried to do it in such a way that the pictures I've used are on the inside. They have an interest when you open up the envelope. Very simple envelopes. And this is a butterfly one. And I just love this. I love how it looks. I love this. And when you open it up, you have another butterfly wing. That's a very deep pocket. It's fully lined inside as well. One of my artist trading cards. This is just a little flip. Now I have sewn that on so it does reduce the writing space. This is just coffee dyed paper, and so it's kind of like a journaling spot maybe rather than a card. Again, more of the paper. This is the card that Michelle sent me, Michelle Mixed Media. So I put one of the Flower Fairy stickers on the back. Little tag, watercolour stencil, and that's just Distress Oxide, I think. Tuck spot, not the most ideal position. Further down would have been better. However, it's fine. This is just a piece of double-sided masterboard with book pages and napkins. This is the bottom of an Umberto Eco book. So the book itself was damaged and I just used this as a tuck spot because it just screams fairy castle, dark fairy castle. This is a washi page sticker, massive sticker. Haven't packed it yet. This is an envelope I'd made, had to put it in because it's got all the butterflies and this transparent image of the little girls. Looks slightly sinister. Flowers backed onto, this is out of a patchwork book, and there's lots of writing space around this bird. This is another little tuck spot. This is another flip flap over. So just little flower. I think that's just from Canva. Jessled brown paper. More journaling paper. It did rip slightly when it was wet, but it's very sturdy now it's dry. This has an envelope here. This is just a big tag with the Flower Fairies, the mushroom, and journaling on the back. Just another lovely flower picture. This is an Anna Sui scrapbook paper, a bit posh. Lovely tag with some birds and journaling on the back. Just some more flowers, masterboard. Now, this is dark fairies because the butterfly is dropping all the babies, so that's not so good. More journaling space. Again, just another flop that keeps everything in place when you paper clip over it. More journaling spots. More ATCs. More dark fairies. I did prefer the dark fairies. I don't know if you can tell. More masterboard. I think this is whimsical fairies. So this is another flip. Now I have made some cards with the books. So these are little collages from the book pages, patchwork book, artist's book. I've just stamped with love inside. I've put a little bit of the patchwork on the corner and it's got a lovely wee card to give to somebody. This is just a big butterfly on top of a gel print. And again, another card. Recognise some of that butterfly from the other page. This girl, some jelly prints, and again I've just put a bit on the outside of the envelope as well. More journaling paper. I like the way that the paint hasn't landed on here, so you can see the blend. More journaling. Now these are little double pockets I made. They're jelly prints. This is book page. Just put a big butterfly on there, so it's got one pocket, two pockets, and that's some more in there as well. This is just some tags. More journaling paper. Now this is the playing cards, and what I've done is I've just made notebooks with arty paper. This is the another playing card. I've made another little notebook. Where are you? I just sewed it right up the middle. And this is a picture I made. It's a painted picture. A roll off sheet, you know, like where I've had underneath where I was working, and some tracing paper all sewn together, and we have a nice double pocket here. It sounds good. And this is just a little book page that I've made into a kind of holder. And we have a little flower fairies swamp. It's got a swamp look. Oh, I should have backed that. That's part of a scrapbook paper I made using napkins. Now this here is just a big folio that I've added in. Now this is from Happy Mail. So I made these envelopes. The outside is Kerry the Crafter, and the inside is Patricia Carmichael from PM Artist Studios. So we have 3. And then in here we just have a big journaling card. We have another double pocket. We have a dark fairy. And we have a nice fairy. And this is actually a little pocket. And these are image transfers. This, they're all image transfers. And that is that. That is us finished. Oh, I really hope you enjoyed that. And the next video is listed in the description. And thanks very much for watching, and take care. Bye.